What do you make of that? A lot of people just saying, pay for it all, pay for it all.
I think we forgot that old line, a deal's a deal. I mean, they signed a contract, and the contract had payment arrangements associated with it, and now they don't like the contract, so they want out of their deal. It's not right. And if we let people out of those kind of contracts, what kind of adults will they become? That they sign an employment agreement, or they sign a mortgage, or they buy a car, and then suddenly it doesn't suit them anymore. So we just throw integrity out the window, and we let people off regardless of what they said they would do.
So you're against this, aren't you? But
so.
You're right. I mean, remember right after the meltdown, of course, we were saving car companies, we were saving, and some people say, well, it's better than the alternative. But it was built into our culture after that if you're in big enough trouble, you could argue we did the same for banks, so that we looked after them. But it was ingrained in our culture to rescue, right?
Well, I think that also got us to this point of deservability, that I deserve to be rescued regardless of my poor decisions. And I think that goes to this whole idea of consequences. I think we're in the mess we are right now. My book's about core values. We let core values collapse because we didn't have any consequences. There's no downside for stupidity these days. And until we impose consequences...
Well, what are some of the core values we've forgotten?
Honesty, integrity. Most of all these days, we've lost respect. Work ethic, adding value to people, just being nice. Kindness is a core value, and the whole idea of self-sufficiency. And this sort of ties to most of this.
All right, now, you and I had a nice little discussion yesterday and got a lot of response about politicians and being truthful. We got into the Donald Trump Jr. thing, that he wasn't truthful, that he had to take back a comment that he made. But you said it cut to the core of some other issues. What did you mean?
If you say something didn't happen, and it did, you can say anything you want to, you can make that look as pretty as you want to. That's dishonest, and it's a lie. And we've got to start calling a lie a lie.
Don't we expect that of politicians in general?
But that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be able to expect that of anyone. And see, what we're trying to do is make the outward control the inner. The inner always controls the outward. And so who you are on the inside eventually always shows up at some level. And in this case, as we were saying earlier, if you lie to me about a little thing, I'll never trust you about a big thing. That's who we are as humans. I've lost all trust in you if you've ever been dishonest with me, and that's the trouble we're in right now. People don't trust each other.
What do you tell young people in particular, because they seem to be the ones who really hate you, that you're on your own, you've got to figure this out, there's not going to be a rescue, there's not going to be a mom and dad rescue, you've got to learn. I mean, that seems almost to harken back to another era.
I hope it does harken back to another era. So when you sign a contract, you understand the idea of a deal is a deal. It means something. And you've got to be held accountable for the agreements that you enter.
So if you give kids loans, do you expect to be paid back?
If I give my kids loans, I never looked at it as a loan. I know that with my kid, it's going to be a gift unless we sit down and write a contract. I didn't give a lot of gifts. I didn't make any loans. I expected them to earn their way.
Do they look at you and your great success? You're a very wealthy man. Are you cheap with them? You just don't? Or do you tell them, look, you're not getting any of this?
I got one kid that's done a whole lot better than I have, and he really has. So
but you argue that don't depend on that. Don't look to mom and dad, right?
That's right. And mom and dad shouldn't look to their kids. And that's where we are right now when they're supporting their kids and kids have moved back in. Now the parents have lost all their retirement trying to take care of their kids. What's going to happen there?
I want my kids to take care of me. I have no intention of taking care of them, but it doesn't go the other way.
I want to spend my last dime on the last day I'm alive.
Larry Winget, he's on fire. The latest book is What's Wrong with Damn Near Everything, calls it like he sees it. I knew this guy when, but that was many millions of dollars ago. But he hits a nerve, and he doesn't care about the bad press. See, I'm very sensitive to that kind of thing. Not him.